Hey, it's Andre. I decided to do a video today for my Korean squash because that's what I'm making. This is what I have done already. Okay, and I'm cutting up more squash as we speak to throw in there. Like so. See, I cut these already and I just add them inside. Okay, and then I'll tell you what's in the wok so far. Okay? To start out with, what I did is I doubled the recipe that it called for because the package of zucchini that I buy comes with 6 in it and the recipe only calls for 5. So I said, well, I might as well just make more then. So what I did is I bought the green ones and I bought 4 of the yellow ones, so that makes 10, which is 5 and 5, so then I doubled the recipe. Now, to start out with, I took my wok and I filled it with a half a cup of water, a half a cup of white vinegar, and a full cup of soy sauce. I used this one from Trader Joe's, which has reduced sodium, but it's basically Kikkoman quality. I didn't really feel like shoyu, like Aloha shoyu quality soy sauce would be like appropriate because Korean food, if I were to go into a Korean restaurant, the soy sauce that they would be using in their cooking would be more along the lines of a Kikkoman quality. So that's the one I decided to use. Okay. Whoa. These are just a smidge bigger than the other ones are. But that's fine because more for me later. Okay. Then after I put the water, the shoyu, and the vinegar in, what I did is I added 4 tablespoons of granulated white sugar, and then I added 4 tablespoons of toasted sesame oil. The recipe just calls for sesame oil, but when I went to Trader Joe's, they didn't have anything that was just sesame oil. They only had this one, which is toasted sesame oil. So that's the one that I bought. And it worked out fine the last time, so I don't have a problem with using it this time. Then, after you've put all those things in, then I kind of like stirred it around a little bit because I wanted the sugar to like move around a bit. Okay. Then after that, what I did is I cut up green onions and added those in because the last time I added the green onions last, and they didn't really mix in. They kind of clumped themselves together because it's hard to stir all the squash in the pot and get them like evenly distributed. So this time I just added them in first. And for how much green onion I put in, it's on top of the microwave. Don't ask me why I lose stuff, because I do. I used about 6 to 8 stalks, which is about this much. It's quite a bit. But that's how much I used when I made it, because I just wanted to. Green onions, you can never go wrong or have too much green onions. The recipe calls for 1 bunch, and I'm like, what's a bunch? A bunch is a lot, so that's what I did. Then you add the squash in. So here, if you look, there's all the squash and stuff. So now what I'm going to do is I've had it on medium this entire time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it up to high and bring it up to a boil. A boil! See, there we go. And as always, I'm having trouble stirring. And everything. Because I'm awesome like that. And what I'm just trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that, like, all of it gets dumped in a little bit. So that way there isn't any of the squash that's, like, just sticking out. Because I don't want that to happen. So. And as you can see, like, the juice, or not the juice, but the, like, the pickling mixture, doesn't actually cover everything. But I've noticed that, as the zucchini gets softer as it cooks, it'll shrink up and then everything will fit. It'll add more moisture to the moisture in this. More liquid will end up in the fucking pan, okay? I can't talk, it's bad. If you're wondering why, besides the fact that I'm crazy, it's because if you've ever cooked anything, I don't know if you can see it, but, maybe if I go like this. If you look very closely, there's steam coming up out of this pan, and if any of you out there have ever cooked anything that has vinegar in it, a lot of vinegar in it, or I should say a noticeable amount of vinegar in it, hot vinegar getting in your eyes is not comfortable. It's very strong and potent. You don't really want to inhale it. Yeah, if you've ever sniffed a bottle of vinegar, like, that's not a nice thing. And when it's hot, it's even worse. So, be careful with that. Make sure that, not necessarily you have to do it in a ventilated area, but if you don't ventilate your area, your house is gonna smell like vinegar for hours. Hours and hours and hours. It'll just permeate everything in your house. Okay? So, there we go. I think I've gotten pretty much everything has been soupified. And it's steaming, like I said. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my lid. It's a big lid. And I'm going to put my lid on. And I'm gonna keep it cooking a little while until it starts to boil inside. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to turn the heat down to medium. And I'm just gonna leave it on. The heat. I'm going to turn the heat down to medium and just leave it on. And then once the zucchini is soft enough to your palate, normally like 20 minutes to like a half an hour, then turn it off. And you could eat it while it's hot. But then it'd be kind of like Korean. It's like hot vinegar soup, kind of like a sweet and sour kind of soup that happens. And that's good, you know, in its own right. Like, if it's really cold where you are, do this and eat it hot, you know, and you have like a soupy kind of thing going on. And of course, it's vegan, so, but I prefer to, when you take it off the heat, set it on the side, let it cool down to like room temperature, and then stick it in the refrigerator and let it refrigerate for a couple of hours, and like marinate in the juices and everything even more, and then eat it cold as like a side dish. That's how I like it, personally. But anyway, that's how the recipe goes. And so I hope you guys enjoy making it at your own home. And I hope it comes out as nice looking as mine. You don't have to switch up the colors of the zucchini. You can just use green ones or just use yellow ones or whatever. But I felt like using both. So, woo. Anyway, that's all. And no, I didn't do my hair. It's so wonderful. Or shave. I didn't shave. No, I did shave. Things Andre forgets that he does. But I didn't do my hair. Because I got lazy and I was like, I'm not going to do my hair. Until next time. Yeah. Anyway, talk to you later. And smooches again.